What a beautiful life.
All that I've got is all that I need. I got you, baby, you got me. What more could I ask for? Beautiful life.
Beautiful life. We got
Beautiful life.
I got
What a beautiful life.
beautiful life.
Listen, I woke up this morning, y'all. The sun was shining oh so brightly. I thought about how good this life is. Back in the day, it wasn't always like this. I think about the things we done been through. I think about the place that I come from. It wasn't always easy, so every day I'm thanking God for the beautiful people everywhere I go. I just need to see your smiling faces at my show. And when you're feeling real love from the family, every day is a gift, y'all, that's all I need.
What a beautiful life.
All that I've got is all that I need. I got you, baby, you got me. What more could I ask for? Beautiful life.
Beautiful life. We got
Beautiful life.
I got
What a beautiful life.
beautiful life.
Happiness, you know, it feels real good, y'all. For us to get it, then we gotta work hard, y'all. Every day. And don't pay attention to the things they say when they tell you that you can't make it, but you can if you try, y'all. When life is rough, I know sometimes you wanna cry, y'all. Just keep the faith and don't question. Ain't no need of stressing. Your life is still a blessing.
About the cars, the money, or the clothes.
You can believe these things will only come and go, but when you're getting real love from everyone you meet, it's a blessing, y'all. It's magic, y'all.
What a beautiful life.
All that I've got is all that I need. I got you, baby, you got me. What more could I ask for?
Hello and welcome. Today is September 24th. It is a little overcast today. They're talking about rain, like a lot of rain is supposed to be happening. I guess tonight and tomorrow. So get your rain boots out, people. And women, not the colorful ones. We are grown women. Do not put on Crayola colored rain boots. That is not a good look on a grown woman. Just get your regular rain boots. Men, you are allowed to wear rain galoshes. You know, cover up your shoes. Don't get your shoes all muddy on the way to work, because women pay attention to that. We do pay attention to whether your shoes are muddy when you walk into the office. So, you know, between the watch and the shoes, that's what we're looking at. As you know, for the last couple of weeks, I've been playing It's a Beautiful Life. And the reason I've been playing that, one, because I am a Chuck Brown fanatic. But two, because my life has been so beautiful lately. And it not that it was ugly, you know, by any means, you know, a month ago. But it has been progressing to the point that I have coming to the point of saying my life is beautiful. And the reason it's beautiful is because of people that are supporting me and always encouraging me. And I wanted to take the time to talk about the Barber Lounge for Men that is in Waldorf, Maryland. This place is owned by one of my high school alumni, Sharon Harper, and she is a phenomenal woman who always supports and encourages me and whatever I want. And she was like, girl, you got it, baby. You got it, baby. So she is so incredible that a couple weeks ago on September, well, maybe it's 3 weeks ago. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, about 2.5 weeks ago. On September the 7th, I had my book launch event. And I don't call it a party because it was an event. It was something that I had wanted to do because the book relaunched itself. And I had it at her establishment. Now, most people said, well, why are you having it at the Barber Lounge for Men? Now, I have some pictures that Eric will be funneling through. But when I tell you that this place is like no other barber shop, barber salon, whatever you want to call it, that I have never been in a place that is as elegant, grown, and sexy as this place. She has brown and tan barber chairs that are like oversized. She has leather seating throughout the entire establishment. She has a flat screen televisions up and around the shop, but they're not tuned to like sports or anything. They're playing like soft jazz and soft music. And so when I was there, I was just like, I have to have my event here. So she was like, okay, what day do you want to have it? And I was like, wow, it was that easy? So what we did, I have an official photographer. And if you saw the show logo, then those are my shoes. Those, I'm going to wear them. Huh? Yeah, the feet, legs, all of that is me. All of that is me. So everything that you see on my show logo, that is me. And that picture was taken in Waldorf, Maryland. So the shop, Shalinda and Dawn and Lonnie, Gordon, the people that kept it clean during my event. When I tell you, Dawn and Shalinda, those two women are always supporting me and always encouraging me at everything that I have at the shop. They are always there. Those two ladies, Dawn is a barber / stylist. So if you need your hair cut, men, you can go down to Waldorf if you're in the area, or if you need your hair styled, ladies, Dawn is the one that you need to be going to. Shalinda is just a sweetie pie. She is a sweetie pie, and she does it works, the green, if you see the lime green and the black that people are, getting into now, healthy living, she does that. She's a phenomenal salesperson. So if you need the It Works products, you need to be seeing Shalinda, because Shalinda She Raps. And she's on Facebook, and if you look on my Facebook page, you can see her. But again, when I tell you I had a phenomenal time, the photographer I'm using now, she has become my official photographer. Her name is E. Harkus, Harstus Photography. And she's, again, located in Waldorf, because I believe in supporting local businesses and local artists. And so she did this amazing photo shoot of me. And when I tell you that the pictures that she took of me are phenomenal. I can't even, I was like, wow, that's me. I look that good. Like, now see the shoes in this picture right here are the shoes you're seeing for my logo. She just transformed them to be in black and white. And she took these pictures and caught my good side on mostly all of the pictures. I'm like so amazed. Consistently amazed that she was able to catch the shots that she really wanted. And I am so the photo that you see right now on your screen is now my professional photo headshot, because it was and the good thing about this is, what you don't know is I was actually standing up against a wall that had some pictures and stuff on it. And it was just incredible. I'm just in love with that picture. If I was a guy, I'd be hitting on my own self. I'd be tweeting my own self, be like, hey, how you doing? Are you available? Are you single? Because I'm telling you, I am looking fierce in this picture right here. So the smile says it all. I am leading a beautiful life. And again, I have I have people around me that always encourage me. I am now the official client of BLP Productions, and Mr. Bobby Peterson gives me the best advice ever. Sometimes I doubt myself, and he's always telling me, you got to believe in yourself. You got to do things for yourself. Don't doubt yourself, because I believe in you. Now, when he says he believes in me, that is the biggest thing for me, because sometimes you get self-doubt. You just don't know. And for me, for someone to say, I believe in you, you hear it all the time. But when someone that really doesn't know you tells you that, it's like price. It's like I won the lottery. I won the lottery, but I'm not getting paid. So I just want to thank him. He blocks out this time because he likes to, he supports me, and I just want him to know that I really, really, really appreciate it. And that I'm like I said, I'm living a beautiful life. As you see behind me, I now have a banner, and we're still a work in progress. So next week it'll be looking a little bit better. But my assistant Tiffany helped me design this, so of course it had to have shoes in it. And our ghost intern is here. She just walked in because she's a student over at Howard. So I want you to know that she's doing her classes and then she's coming over afterwards. But yes, so back to the banner. So I just need to. I'm gonna turn around a little bit because as you can see, the shoe right here is fierce. Now, if I can find a way to get the shoes that is on my show logo to be up on here, the banner will change within a couple of weeks, just so you know, people. But then we be swanging because that's me. We be swanging on WLVS Radio, Listen Vision Live. So if you're not on your radio, if your friend's not on their computer right now, you need to go tell them log on right now. It's listenvisionlive.com. Let me tell you something, people. I am now in 15 countries. We hit Zambia and Canada last week. What? All I need to learn how to do is speak French for the people up in Canada because I know it's like half and half. Really? Really? And see, so even my board director was like, he never heard of Zambia. But I'm there, people. So what? Like, because, I even had to look it up. I'm like, is this supposed to be Zambia? Yeah, and so I looked in I Googled it because, I didn't have the ghost intern here to tell me where it was. So I had to Google it myself, which I wasn't very happy about. Ghost intern, I'll have to get your email address so you can be doing that for me. So I Googled it, and it is in South Africa. It's like the capital. Well, man, I don't know because it was in big letters. So I'm thinking if it's in big letters and it's, on a continent, then that means it's the capital, right? Right, ghost intern? If it's in big letters on the map, and it's in South Africa, that means, okay. And she just looking at me like nodding her head like, oh, isn't that so cute? She trying to be smart today. So to hit a place that even my board operator hadn't heard of, what, baby? Boom. Boom, boom, shake the room, people. So just so that you know, hi, Zambia people. Hi, Canada. Hi, you know what? I'm going to learn a language. Now, I don't know what language it's going to be, but I'm going to learn the language. I'm going to have to buy Rosetta Stone so I can figure out what language it's going to be. I don't want it to be Spanish. I want it to be something exotic. So when I'm talking, talking a little dirty, because I'm on hump day, people. I'm on hump day. So I need to be learning some kind of language to be saying something on hump day because just so you know, it's hump day that I'm on. And so since I'm on at 4 o'clock, I might as well just go ahead and get you all started right so that when y'all get to 10 o'clock and Sanjay and Mutariq are on, then y'all can go ahead and, finish that out and bring in Thursday right. Okay? So as you can see, I have someone in the studio with me today. His name is John DeDakis.
That's right.
See, I'm looking at the phonetic spelling here.
Yeah, so far, so good.
All right. Okay, so tell me how you say it. Like if I'm not, being a little, phonetic.
Well,
how do you say it?
I would say it the same way, only a little faster. I'd say DeDakis.
Oh, DeDakis. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I
what you
like
said.
that.
That's
okay.
what you said.
Yeah. I did say I was just like DeDakis.
Yeah, you were just being careful.
Right, I was being careful because I was trying to practice it and I slipped up and said something else.
You wouldn't be the first.
I won't even say what I said, but try to say it without,
I had a sergeant in the Army who called me Dudakai. And people tried to correct him, and he said, that's what I said, Dudakai.
Wow. Okay, but it is kiss, like kissing someone. Okay, but it's KISS, right?
Yeah, well, it's one S.
Oh, okay. Oh, because I'm looking at the phonetic. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So, I know, right? I'm trying, trying, people.
Goodbye, Zambia.
Right, I know, right?
We just lost Zambia.
Okay. Yeah. But we kept Canada though, because the French people. I'm just saying we're keeping Canada.
Well, this is Greek though. It's Greek.
Oh, it's Greek. Oh, okay. So it's Greek. Okay, so so you are of Greek. Okay, so let me just. Okay, it is hump day, people.
Did I get in the way of what you were doing?
No, you didn't, because I was going to ask you if that first. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was like Russian or something. But Russian is SKY or SKI or something like that. Yeah. Right. So I was all off. I had it all spelled backwards. I did have the letters because it's KIS. Exactly. There you go. So he's not Russian. He is Greek.
Half Greek and half German.
Half Greek and I'm in Germany. So do you know German? You know how to speak German?
I know survival German, which is Ich habe ein Bier, bitte.
What is that,
means,
beer?
I'll have a beer, please.
I need to learn that one. Okay, because that's all I need to know in German. I can come on and say, at the end of the show, I could say,
Ich habe ein Bier, bitte.
right, I could,
German beer is potent.
Yes, it is.
Really? Is it? No, I have never had it.
It's great.
You might want to learn how to ask for something else.
Right. Oh, wow. Well, I am not opposed to learning something new, learning how to drink something new, because the glass is back, people. The glass is back. And thank you, John, for being on the show with me. So, there's Tiffany. There's Tiffany. Sorry, ghost intern, would you like a drink? There you go.
Is she 21?
She is,
Oh,
right?
okay.
I know, right? Everybody says she's 22.
Well,
yes. So John is a former editor on the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. Now, you were on there for 25 years?
I was at CNN for 25 years, and I was with Wolf for about 7.
So how was that? What did you do with Wolf?
My job was a copy editor, which
Okay.
basically means that what Wolf would have to read, I'd have to see it first. So
Okay.
it's like being a goalie. You're checking for the facts, making
Okay.
sure it's accurate, making sure it's fair and balanced, making sure the writing is clear, and making sure the spellings are okay for everything that's on the screen.
So so would it be a report that he would do? Like he would write it and then he would say, "Hey, John."
Oh, we had writers. Wolf
okay.
Wolf was much better at as an ad-libber and as an interviewer.
Okay.
And so we had a team of writers that would put the words in his mouth. But
Okay.
frankly, he's smart enough that he could probably ad-lib the whole show.
Oh, wow. Okay. So did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy working with him for 7 years and working on CNN?
Oh, absolutely.
So you retired from CNN?
I did.
Okay, and then you became you are now teaching journalism at the University of Maryland.
That's right.
College Park.
That's right.
So does your students know that you're on live today?
I'm not sure.
See, you should have gave them the assignment.
I
You
know.
should have said this in the assignment. Well, you know what you can do? Extra credit. There you go. Guest intern, ghost intern. Extra credit. You got to give your kids extra credit. So tomorrow, when it's uploaded on YouTube, students, because see, I'm going to talk to you right now, students, because I know you're going to have to look at the video. So you're going to have to look at the video. And the extra credit assignment, and it have to be on a test. Like, give it on a test. Yeah. Transcribe what he said in German. Like, what did he say in German? Like, before you heard it, what did he say? Like, at the end of your test, like, just right for bonus, like, like Professor DeDakis.
Ooh, well done. Well done.
See? There you go. 10 points. Ding, ding. Extra point. I got my extra point. Now it's up to you to get yours. So at the end of your paper, if you know that you didn't do really well, like, what we going to give him? 10 points?
Well, my co-teacher and I will work that out.
Okay, so co-teacher and him will work that out. So I was trying to get y'all 10 points. I was just saying. So at the end, just say, Professor DeDakis, I didn't do very well, but I watched the YouTube video of you, and I know what the German saying means. See? So that could be, because that means they have to watch it. Now, we're going to say something else. Well, that's the only thing you know in German? Do you know something else? Pretty much. Okay. Well, you know what? Before the show is over, there's going to be a little known fact that he's going to reveal, and so you would have to have what he said in German and the little known fact in order to get the bonus points. See, I'm helping you out. I'm writing your lesson plan right now.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm trying to help you out, students. I'm just saying. So, is it the journalism class that you teach? Is it freshmen or is it?
They're mostly juniors and seniors.
Oh, see. Seniors, you might need that for extra credit for graduation requirements. So you might want to look at this show. You might need to know the name of this show. You might need to just even tweet with us. Ooh, make them tweet. Make them tweet the show and say, I'm Professor DeDakis'
You're
student.
good. You got the name.
I
You
know.
nailed the name.
If I say it enough time, now I don't know what's gonna happen at the end of this glass.
Well, you know.
But hey, right now I can still say the name. So now let's get into, because you are an author,
Yes.
and I see you have 4 books here.
It's 2.5.
Two and a half.
3.5.
3.5. Okay, so your new book is Troubled Water.
Troubled Water
Okay.
is the new one. Mystery Suspense.
Okay, so what is the premise? Tell me in 4 sentences, what is the premise of Troubled Water?
Troubled Water is from the point of view of about a 25-year-old young woman trying to figure out what to do with her life. And in this particular incarnation, she becomes the cops and courts reporter at a daily newspaper in Georgia. And at the beginning of her tenure there, she discovers the body of a young woman who is the first victim of a serial killer.
Oh, so is this story about the serial killer? About her and the serial killer?
I think you have several strands going on. You
Okay.
have my character, Lark Chadwick, is growing as a person, maturing.
Okay.
It's also about the newspaper and journalism professions and what they're going through. I think there's a strand that deals with mentoring relationships because her friend and mentor is a former New York Times journalist, and it deals there's a romantic element to it. And there's a mystery.
Okay, all right. So, let me because somebody just walked through with food, and they know I'm hungry as all get out today, and they just walking through with food like they ain't say you want to take an order. I'm taking orders.
Well,
Go
you
next
were busy.
door.
You were
okay,
busy.
I was busy. Okay,
Yeah.
just so you know, I'm speaking to the people in the back. If you're going to get food, can you at least let me know? I might want a sandwich or some soup or something. I hear you back there laughing at me. I'm just saying, when you're drinking, you gotta have food
Well, that's
so that you're not.
nutritional. That's
It is nutritional. Oh, see, Ghost intern even bought her own self a snack. So can I get a snack? Well, I'm going to have a cupcake later on in a couple of weeks. So we're going to have cupcakes
couple
later
of
on.
weeks?
In a couple of weeks,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We're going to hit the gym first so that then we can eat all the cupcakes when she bring them. So is this your first book? Is
This is
Troubled
the-
Water?
Troubled Water is the third.
Okay, now is it a series or
It's a
this
series. Yep.
Oh, okay. So Troubled Water, and now there's your cover to Troubled
There it is.
Water.
That's right.
Now, what is the first in the series?
First in the series is Fast Track.
Fast Track. Okay.
And this is when my the cover photo is a key scene from the book in which she has a showdown with a freight train.
Oh, wow. Okay. Who wins that showdown?
Well, she does show up in two more books.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I guess she won. Okay.
And then the second novel is Bluff, and that's based on my hike along the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu in Peru. I don't know if Peru is one of your countries.
No, not yet. But hey, Peru, we
And
looking for you to be there.
I took the picture on the front there. That's the murder scene. You can't see that real
Okay.
well. I took that picture too. I lay in front
Oh,
of a
so
train.
wait a minute. You actually took these. These are you like from your camera.
Yeah.
What? Get out of here. Wait a minute. So you were laying on the tracks while the train was coming?
Well, I didn't say it was coming.
Let me just tell y'all something.
He actually stopped first.
Now let me just tell y'all something. Whether it's stopped or not, look at the complexion of us. I am not gonna be laying on no train tracks to get no picture. Whether it's stopped or not. Now, did you get permission to do this? Like
I
they
did.
knew you were going to be there.
I did.
Oh, okay. So they just let you just lay across the track like that.
I was running out of time because I had to get a cover photo to the publisher.
Okay.
And all of the shots that I had were too blurry.
Okay.
Because I'd been jumping out of the way of the oncoming train.
Okay.
And in this particular case,
Again,
yeah.
we ain't gonna be doing that. We gonna Photoshop some train tracks.
It's what you do for your art. you know?
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
And in this case, I just happened to come across a guy who was teaching other guys how
Okay.
to couple and uncouple freight cars
Wow.
in a freight yard in Atlanta.
Okay. Wow. Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Hey, you know what? More power to you because it's not. I wouldn't have trusted him. I would have been like, yeah, he's getting ready. I would have been too scared to be there laying, and then he said, oh, I'm off schedule. I need to get going. And then he blowing a horn, and then boom, he just takes off. My camera would have been dropped. The picture would have got me of like this. That would have been the last shot that was on the picture. It was just me with my mouth open and my eyes wide open and, my hair all over the place. But, so Troubled Water comes third. So Fast Track is
first. They stand
okay.
alone. I mean, you can read them.
So that's what I was getting ready to ask you. So you don't need to read them in any order. So you're saying that Troubled Water is about Lark trying to find herself at age 25. What is it about her in Fast Track?
Well, the book begins after when she discovers the body of the aunt who raised her from infancy because she'd been orphaned in a car accident when she was a baby.
Okay.
And that trauma launches her on a search to find out more about her past.
Okay.
She goes to the small town where the accident happened, gets a newspaper clipping, and discovers she's the miracle baby who survived this car-train collision, but no one had ever told her. Well, why not?
Right.
So she gets the newspaper editor who becomes her mentor to let her do a follow-up story. Two of her sources are the mayor and the sheriff. They're running against each other for Congress. The election is 1 week away, and each guy has a secret that will unravel the mystery.
Okay. So if you love, so all of these are murder mysteries.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you love murder mysteries, okay, here's what you got to do. You got to go and get Fast Track first.
Exactly.
Get Fast Track first. Even though you can read Troubled Water on its own, get Fast Track first. Now, how long did it take you, one, to come up with the concept for Fast Track, and two, to write it?
Well, the concept comes more or less quickly. I was doing a writing exercise about a personal experience, which was a car-train collision I witnessed when I was 9 years old.
I'm about to say, if you tell me you was in the car-train collision, I'm done. I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
I just wasn't in the car.
Okay.
But I did see it happen from the dome car looking down on the tracks.
Okay.
And I was doing a writing exercise 40 years later about this event, and I began to wonder what would it, because I had heard when I was doing the writing exercise, I remembered a radio interview or a radio newscast that I'd heard in which an infant survived a car-train collision. And I began to do what if? What if the child had grown up and wanted to know more about her parents?
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so do you find that as an author, and I know I do it, as an author, I always play the what if game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so do you find yourself doing that? Like,
Sure.
I looked at television and was looking at a music video and actually said, what if she stole his money? Because clearly it was about the man getting money and having money and doing all this, having a lavish lifestyle. And I said, what if she stole his money? And I literally plotted out the entire story. Now, we were talking about that off air because we were talking about plotting versus just going on it. And I never wrote it down because I'm not a plotter. I'm a pantser. I'm just, I need to just let the story go. And then when it stops, it stops. And then when it starts again, it starts again. But you were saying that plotting it out, you're learning how to do that because you are using.
I'm using. Well, the first two novels, I didn't use any kind of a writing program at all.
Okay.
I just did it on my own.
And how did you find that working for you?
It worked fine.
Okay.
I mean, it takes a while, and there are two schools of thought between a planner and a pantster, seat of the pants. I'm sort of becoming a plantster, so I do a lot of planning. But I leave room for playing it by ear.
Okay.
And so
I like that plantster. Plantsters. I'm a plantster. I'm trying to be a plantster. I'm mostly a pantser, but I'm trying to be a plantster, people.
Because the problem is, at least in my experience, is if you're starting from the beginning and just playing it by ear, for me, it's a lot of wasted energy and time. It's like spinning your wheels.
Don't I know it?
So what I try to do is to have at least a roadmap so I know where I'm going, but I also allow myself permission to do detours. And, as you know, most of writing is rewriting.
Right.
So even if you've got, the ending for Fast Track changed after the first draft. It went through like 14 major revisions.
Wow.
It took me only 4 months to write the first draft, but a year and a half to get the courage to show it to anybody else.
Wow. So you did, so you said it took a year and a half. So did you go back yourself, or did you have an editor saying, no, go back and do this and do this and do this? Or did you just decide, let me put it aside, then let me go back and look and see what I need to do?
Well, because I'm a professional editor, I really was my own editor for the most part.
Okay.
But and I think good advice is you need to set it aside, let it simmer or fester, whichever it is.
Right.
And then you come back to it and read it fresh as a reader would.
See, that is the best thing. That is the best advice. And most people don't do that. Most authors, I will drink to that too. Let me just drink to that too. See, we will drink to anything in here, people. But it's a good thing. Most writers, most authors don't do that. They will finish a manuscript and boom, off it goes. And instead of letting it sit marinate, even if it's just a couple of weeks. You need it to get out of your system,
Right.
and then pick it back up to see what does it look like now.
But there is going to come a point where you need to show it to somebody else
Right.
who's objective.
Okay.
And I've been blessed over the years with several people who are my readers.
Okay.
And they give me the kind of feedback I need. Sure, they'll give me, as you mentioned earlier, it's nice to get, encouragement and to say, "Oh, that was awesome."
Okay.
But what's really important in the early process, is to have people tell you what's not working.
Okay.
And you need to be open to that kind of criticism because you're right to connect with somebody else. And
Oh,
if somebody
that's
else
great.
if somebody else is not getting it, then that's on you to make it clearer.
Right. You right to connect with someone else. That is, wow, you're full of it today, John. I'm just saying, normally I'm full of it, but today he has some great,
Thank
again,
you.
it's all about the writing, people. It's all about the writing. And today you're getting some great writing tips. See, that's why he's the professor of journalism. So are you, like, when you're teaching, do you find yourself bringing into your writing into your class?
Well, one of the things I do at the University of Maryland in the journalism class I teach is I'm teaching the students how to write for the ear.
Okay.
Broadcast journalism, which is different than print.
Okay.
Broadcast journalism is the way people talk. And it's much more succinct. It has to be conversational. You don't have the luxury of going into a lot of detail. You have to be
Okay.
much more selective about what you tell and how you tell it. But I'm also teaching how to write a novel class at the Writers Center in
Okay.
Bethesda.
Okay.
And so there we talk about characterization and plotting and staying organized, rewriting, all those kind of things. How to get an agent, how to market yourself, that kind of stuff.
So now, when in your teaching of journalism, are you giving the assignments as if they're already journalists and saying, "Okay, I need you to report on whatever"?
In the class I'm teaching, they have to produce 4 packages over the semester. A package is the pre-taped report that you'd see on the news.
Wow.
It's about a minute and a half. They have to shoot it, edit it, write it, report it. And so there are a lot of moving
Wow.
parts in that process. And so they're learning to identify what's a good story. They need to deal with the logistics of getting the story. They need to know how to compose it and shoot it. They need to know how to edit it so that it's interesting to watch. They have to write it so that it's clear, and then they need to produce it so that so that it's basically air quality. Because we're trying to get them to produce at a professional level.
So is this teaching them how to be news anchors, or just?
Not so much anchors, but reporters. I mean,
Okay.
some of the students want to be producers, some want to be photographers, some want to be anchors. It just depends. But for all of those jobs, you need to have the basic fundamentals
Okay.
of journalism and knowing what's a story and how to do it.
Wow. Okay. So now you said you had 3.5 books. So I see something that looks like
the other one. This is the paperback edition. The first paperback edition of Fast Track, and my publisher at the time came out with a magazine format.
Oh, wow.
Because his theory was it's easier to carry around.
Okay.
The text is in columns, so
Okay.
it's a little less daunting. Wolf Blitzer did a very generous blurb for me, but the coolest thing is that my picture is bigger than Wolf Blitzer's.
See, that's always a plus. If you beat out the big name, then but now you can say you're a big name. You can say I beat out Wolf
I'm a big
Blitzer.
face.
Right, exactly.
He still has the bigger name,
Well-
and it's well deserved.
Well, and because I do love Wolf Blitzer, I do look. I'm a CNN junkie. I am a professed CNN junkie. I don't watch television at all, but I find myself like my father, and my father would be proud. Harold Webster. He has influenced me to become a CNN junkie, which is not a good thing when you just find yourself saying, "No, I can't. I don't want to go," and then you turn on CNN. Like, what is that?
It's addicting.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because I always look for who's going to be on next and what they're talking about and this, that, and the other. Okay, so I want to know. It says that you have interviewed Alfred Hitchcock.
I did.
Like, wait a minute.
I did.
First of all, you don't look old enough to have interviewed Alfred Hitchcock. Because
I'm
when
old
I was
enough.
coming up, Alfred Hitchcock was like in his 50s, right? So, like, okay, I know you're not supposed to say how old you were. Okay, that's a woman. So, a man, they don't really care, right? So,
It's
I don't know.
classified. It's classified.
Okay, so how old was Alfred Hitchcock making The Birds when you?
No, he was
interviewed him?
making Frenzy. The movie Frenzy had just come out.
See,
this would have been 71, 72, around there.
But he was
73.
old. Like,
Well,
he
sure.
was old.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was young.
oh, okay, yeah. So okay. So there is that. So how was that? Like, was he really like, hello? Was he like?
He really
like-
was. He really was.
Really was.
Yeah.
The movie. Did you watch the movie that
I had seen it.
like that?
I had. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he actually made. He's dead now. He made cameo appearances in his movies. Usually within the first couple of minutes, he would walk across the scene, or he would be somewhere. We actually talked about that in the interview.
Wow. So what? No, I don't watch it. I knew The Birds, and to this day, whenever I see birds up on the power lines, I'm inside. I'm not even coming outside. Nope, you will not find. They will not be plucking my eyes out. No. So if I see, I'm not lying, because The Birds was the only movie I ever saw of his, and whenever I see, I am terrified of birds. Saw what? Oh no! Are you kidding me? I'd never be in the shower. I'd be a bad
Well, yeah,
girl.
you didn't see Psycho.
Oh no!
Well, he told me about Psycho. He said he shot Psycho in black and white because of the shower scene.
Really?
He didn't want the gore to be so obnoxious. He wanted it to be more insidious. And you know what he used for blood?
What?
Chocolate sauce.
Get out of here!
He told me
It was
personally.
hey, so you heard it here, people. If you didn't know, here's a little known fact about Psycho. That blood that you saw in black and white was actually chocolate sauce. And people gonna go all in their mama's cabinet right now, get the chocolate syrup out, and be like, "Let's make a Psycho scene." Because Halloween's coming. No, don't get yourself in trouble with your mama eating up her chocolate sauce. Here, today's hump day. She need that for something else.
There's actually an interesting mentoring story about Alfred Hitchcock, because I was just this 22-year-old kid, and my boss, who was probably, I think, 32, 33 at the time, Herb Glover at the American Forces Network in Frankfurt, Germany, he could have done the interview with Hitchcock in his sleep, and probably would have loved to have done the interview, and instead, he gave it to this 22-year-old kid.
Wow.
And that was really a turning point in my life.
Really?
Yep.
Did that make you want to continue being in journalism
That's
and all
it.
that? So tell me about Jimmy Carter.
Well, Jimmy Carter, I've talked to him a couple of times over the years, and he was, very gracious, very obviously articulate, and laser focus and all of that.
Wow. I mean, so who else? Okay, because for me, Alfred Hitchcock would have been it for me. That would have been like, okay, I don't need to do nothing else. I done interviewed him with Birds and Psycho and Frenzy and all that. I don't need to have anybody else to interview. So who else left a mark on you that is just like, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, besides Alfred, because I'm just gonna call him by his first name now. Besides Alfred, who else was that interview for you?
Well, I interviewed Reagan. I covered the White House for the last 3 years of Reagan's administration. And so I was able to talk to Reagan in the Oval Office briefly. I was doing a profile, or a sort of an in-depth look at the White House press corps versus the presidency.
Okay.
Because it's built-in friction. And Larry Speakes was the press secretary at the time, and he got me and my crew in, and so I asked Reagan a couple of questions, and he, the one quote I was able to use was, he said that, I asked him about the dynamics between the press and the president, and he said, sometimes it seems less like they're in a hunt for the news and more like they're out to get you.
Wow. So, well, now we understand it. Now we understand why the presidents, all of them have kind of like, because, sometimes you see them and you be like, why they seem like they got a little attitude when they, get asked a question. But now, hearing that, I guess you would if you being asked a question when they after you.
Well, it's typically, the president and his press spokesman wants to tell the president's policies in the perfect light.
Okay.
And the press's responsibility is to find out what's really going on.
Ah, okay.
And there's always going to be that conflict.
So do you ever use any of your interview like moments or stories in your novels?
I use a lot of personal experience, and I have a lot of friends who are women in their 20s, and and many of them were interns at CNN,
Okay.
and so my daughter is a woman, and so I have this tendency of being able to listen to them. They talk to me about their boyfriends and their parents and their careers, and they tell me their stories. And so pretty soon you listen to how they talk and what their issues are.
Okay, so is that why you decided to write a female protagonist?
That almost was inadvertent. When I first started doing fiction, someone suggested I should write in a way that stretches who I am.
Okay.
I'd never been a woman in this life, so
Okay.
I thought I'd give it a try. And I found that it wasn't as difficult as I thought because emotions aren't gender specific.
Oh,
It's just
that's
that
true.
women are, I think, in my experience, women are better at expressing them. They're more nuanced.
Okay.
They're more verbal, that kind of stuff. Men, we've got anger nailed.
Okay.
We're sort of
Right.
you
You
know,
got
we
that
have-
down pat.
Yeah, we've got that nailed. But women, there's a incredible variety of.
Okay. So have
emotions.
you? Okay. So if this is the third, Troubled Waters is the third in the series. So is it going to continue, or is this the end of
Oh no,
Lark's story?
I'm working on book 4 now. I've been working on the plot,
Okay.
and in this particular one, she becomes a White House correspondent,
Oh, okay.
and
So
then something happens.
So wait a minute. So Lark seemed to always have something happening to her.
Well, that's part of it.
Oh, okay. Now, is it
Wouldn't be
something
interesting otherwise.
That is true. So, is it something? Is she married? She's not married.
Oh no, she's
Okay.
got. But there's a guy.
Oh, but there's a guy. There's a guy. Okay. So, how many books in this series do you see?
I don't
happening?
know. I mean, I've got an idea for the 5th book, and we'll see. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know.
So, it's going to be at least 2 more, 4 and 5.
Well, we don't even know for sure if there's going to be a 4th, but I'm writing it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It still has to pass muster with my agent and, the publisher.
Okay, and so let me ask you about that since you brought it up. So you have an agent. Now, when did you decide that you wanted to have an agent? Did you immediately know, I want to write and I'm going to have an agent? Or
I knew that was the way I wanted to approach it, at least at first. And back then, this has got to be 15, almost 20 years ago when I first started writing fiction.
Okay.
And so self-publishing wasn't as big a deal as it is now.
okay.
But I felt that in my experience, a self-published book doesn't have the editorial oversight that something that's more traditional has.
Okay.
And I figured that if my writing was really worthwhile and good, then someone other than my mom would think that that it was good enough to publish.
Okay.
So I set out to find somebody who was going to fall in love with my writing.
Okay.
And the agent that I have, Barbara Casey, is the 39th agent that I queried in the process.
Wow.
She fell in love with it and has stuck with me all these years.
So she's still your agent through
Still
all
my
3
agent.
books. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you find her locally, or was she from New York? Or?
I met her at a writers' conference in Georgia, at the University of Georgia in Athens, the Harriet Austin Writers' Conference. And there are scads of writers' conferences around the country, and the good ones bring in authors, publishers, and agents
Okay.
who are looking for clients.
Okay.
And so what I did is I queried Barbara ahead of time, saying, this is who I am, this is what I've written, I'm going to be at this conference, looking forward to meeting you, and that's how it happened.
So, okay, would you suggest that people, that if they're going to a conference, and I'm bringing this up for a reason, if they're going to a conference and they know the agents that's going to be there and they really want to talk to that agent, do you suggest that they try to make a connection before that conference and say, hey, I'm going to be at that conference and I'd like to,
I think that really is a good idea, and I'm such a slow learner that it took me 7 years of going to the same conference to realize that would have been the way to do it way earlier than that.
Oh, and the reason I bring it up is because I'm involved with the Creatures, Crime, and Creativity Conference happening next month in Hunt Valley. And there's agents going to be there, and there's people that want to, they've already set up that they're going to be meeting with these people. But I guess that is a good tidbit of advice. If you know which agent that you're wanting to meet with, maybe send them an email saying, hey, I am going to be meeting with you, because, they have set up times set aside that they're going to be meeting. I'm going to be meeting you, and here's just a little bit about me, because I know sitting in front of an agent, it gets a little nerve-wracking, because you it's like you got 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to say, here I am, and either they're going to buy the product or they're not, or, even be interested, because for an agent, it has to be an interest first.
Well, and not only that, if you've written a novel, your novel has to be finished before you can go to an agent and say,
Listen to that, please, people. I don't know how many times I have to say it, and I've said that over and over on the show. Before you pitch to an agent, before you sit down with an agent, your manuscript has to be done, because if they say to you on the spot, I'm interested and I want it, send it to me. If you then say to them, it's not done. Right. You have just blown your chance with that agent, probably forever.
Well,
would you say?
Not only done, but rewritten several times, and
Okay.
if possible, get a professional pair of eyes to look at it as well. Because
Okay.
when it goes to the agent, it needs to be pristine. It needs to be perfect, as good as you can make it.
And that is the best advice ever. When you are going down, sitting with an agent, they're not going to look at whether it's, a good story. They're looking at everything. They're looking at your grammar. They're looking at if the manuscript is clean, if the spelling, if the punctuation. If it's anything, if it's not clean, is not as clean as it can be, don't sit in front of the agent. Don't take up that agent's time, because they are looking for that next big novel.
Right.
They're looking for that 50 Shades of Grey. Not 50 Shades of Grey, but they're looking for that. They're looking for the next mystery. They're looking for that thriller or that cozy or something. But if you come to them without being prepared, so basically what John is telling you is be prepared. Be prepared when you sit down in front of them. So when you went and you talked, you spoke to her, how long did it take for her to say, yeah, I think I'm interested?
She was interested pretty early. I would say maybe a week or two after the conference, she, the dust settled for her. And the great thing that happened is that there was also another agent that I had approached in the same way. So there were basically two agents who were interested.
So how did you decide to go with her?
Well, she just always liked it the way it was. The other agent was sort of, could you try third person? And so I gave her three chapters of third person instead of first person.
Okay.
And I sent Barbara third person as well.
Okay.
And the other agent said, and Barbara said, I still love first person.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
Barbara fell in love, and so
Okay.
I fell in love too.
Wow. Okay. So see,
And it's like, it is really like falling in love. But the thing is, you got a date.
see, that is a great tidbit. Having an agent is like falling in love, but at least you get a date. I
Well,
like
that's
that.
not exactly what I said.
No,
I said
okay,
it's
say it again.
in order to find an agent, you've got to get out there and date.
And date, right? Okay.
Query the agents.
Right.
And one of those dates that you're on, querying an agent, results in the chemistry that
I got you.
that consummates
I
the
do like that one.
relationship.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. See, I told you by the end of this glass, I wasn't going to
Yeah,
understand
right.
anything. Let me tell you, it has been phenomenal. And I say this and I know people are going to be so sick of me saying this, that the hour goes by so fast. It literally does go by so fast. But what you have been saying is what a lot of authors say. If you had to give one piece of writing advice, just one piece, what would that be?
I would say keep working at your craft. Keep trying to improve as a writer. Keep looking for ways to make that sentence as clear as possible. Look for ways to we're talking about connecting. And so the one bit of advice is keep practicing, keep working at it, keep writing, because the more it's like exercising. The more you use your writing muscle, the better it gets.
And that doesn't mean your hand, people. That means your brain. So keep working your brain.
Well
just like,
said. Well
yes,
said.
just like I always say it. This is how I say it the same thing. You can't be a good writer if you're not doing what is necessary to move you forward.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought I was a good writer 7 years ago. I'm a great writer right now. And that's because I keep using my brain. I keep practicing. I keep over and over and over thinking, okay, how can I make this story better?
Exactly.
And that's what, as authors, we always need to be doing. We need to always be trying to connect to new readers, because our readers will stay with us. it's the new readers that we need to go out and get.
Well, you can lose readers too if you, don't deliver, as good as what you did before.
Now, how long did it take you? How long in between each of your books?
Fortunately, I don't have to write on a deadline.
Okay.
There are some friends of mine who are under contract. They have to turn out like a book every 9 months.
Wow.
That's like writing with a gun at your head, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
So I take my time, and I think that between Fast Track and Bluff, I'd say a couple of years.
Okay.
And then Troubled Water came out even longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a lot of personal things that happened, and I had a day job.
Okay.
So and the book I'm working on now, that's at least a year away, and probably 2.
Okay. So are they all published by the same publisher?
No, Arca Books publishes Fast Track and Bluff, and Strategic Media Books publishes Troubled Water.
Okay. All right. So now let me ask you, because everybody always wants a one leg up, a hint. Is your agent taking new clients?
As far as I know.
Okay. So she's looking for.
She actually handles pretty much all genres.
Okay.
And her name is Barbara Casey. And,
Barbara Casey.
Casey.
Okay.
And she's on, if you Google her, you'll get her literary agency, which I think is Barbara Casey Literary Agency.
Okay.
It's very clever that way.
Yeah, I know. Hey, can't go wrong with that,
and
right?
she's got instructions on how to approach her.
Oh, okay, great. See, so now you have a hint, a tidbit on how to maybe possibly get your manuscript in front of an agent. Now, hey, John didn't have to do that, but see, that's the other bonus question. See, that's the bonus question. I didn't know it until just now, but that's the bonus questions for John students, Professor John DeDakis students. That's your test question. Yeah, I'm loving the name. If I could just keep on saying the name, I love the name.
You can make a drinking game.
I
out
know,
of the name.
right? If you get it wrong, you gotta take a drink. Or if you
that's
get it,
incentive. That's the wrong kind of incentive.
Right. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for coming to the studio. Thank you for, this traffic. Thank goodness it was not raining when we came, because we would have never got here, people. Because let me just tell you something, people. It's only rain. It's just rain. You don't have to drive slow. You don't have to, and don't drive crazy, because it is rain and it has been dry. And when the leaves fall, now here's a AAA tip. When leaves start to fall off the trees, because it's dry and the oil and stuff on the ground already, it makes the ground slippery. So when it starts to rain, it's even more slippery. Right. So slow down, people. Don't run into the back of me, because I'm driving. I'm not driving Miss Daisy, but I'm not driving, 90 miles an hour. I'm not down at MIR at the racetrack down in St. Mary's County. I'm not down there. So just drive precautionarily. I don't even know if that's a real word.
It is now. It is now.
Yeah. Okay. It is now. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next week we're gonna have I'm not sure who we're gonna have. Next week we're gonna be talking about the conference, but I want to say one more thing about the Creatures, Crime, and Creativity Conference, because they're looking for volunteers. And if you would like to volunteer at the Creatures, Crime, and Creativity Conference or convention, it's for authors and readers and writers and fans, and it is going to be phenomenal. We have John Gilstrap, Rebecca York, C.J. Ellison, and Brad Parks. They're all going to be. Are you going to come? Are you looking at it? You thinking about it?
I am now.
Hey, you got to think about it. Go to Creatures, Crimes, and Creativity. Okay. The conference is on October 10th, 11th, and 12th.
I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, you're going to be out of town? Okay, well, I have to tell you all about it. But if you want to volunteer, or if any of your students want to volunteer, it's right near Baltimore. If you want to volunteer, all you need to do is go to creaturescrimesandcreativity.com, look on the registration page, and sign up to be a volunteer. You can volunteer for the entire weekend, which would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or you could volunteer for Saturday only, because we still need volunteers for Saturday, because there's going to be a lot of things going on Saturday. So if you want to volunteer and you want to get involved in the literary world, this would be a great chance to get an inside look. And I, encourage you to get an inside look if you're in journalism classes, or if you need, that could be a good assignment, because people could come to the conference and do like little reports. They could do their little reports there. And I don't know how far along the assignment is due. I mean, school just started, but you get to jump up. I'm just saying, be proactive, people. So until next week, it is, the hour has flown by, and I want to thank my ghost intern for coming in, even though she ain't share snacks. She ain't share, or her soda, I'm just saying. She had ginger ale. And I want to thank my assistant for coming, and she's working tirelessly to get you all guest spots and guest interviews. And I want to thank Mr. John DeDakis, and make sure that you pick up. Thank you. Make sure you pick up his novel, Troubled Water, and Fast Track, and Bluff. Now, it's 3 of them. So, I'm
one at a time.
One at a time. Or you could pick them up all 3 at a time. Doesn't really matter.
I like the way you think.
Yes,
they're all on Kindle.
Are they on Kindle? So
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
all on Kindle. So go on Kindle today. Download all 3, because you're going to want all 3. Once you read Lark's story, you're going to want to know what goes on. So go on and download all 3. While you're at it, download my book, Swangin Webster. Let me just say this. If you're in today's news headlines, is talking all about domestic violence and what the characters are going through and why she stayed, hashtag why I stayed, and help me by purchasing this book, because I'm reaching out to domestic violence organizations. So make sure that you grab that book. And until next week, it's me, B Swangin. We be swangin'. Make sure you use my Twitter handle at We Be Swangin'. And until next week, I will see you when I see you. Bye.
All that I've got is all that I need. I got you, baby, you got me. What more could I ask for? Beautiful life. Beautiful life. What a beautiful life. Listen, I woke up this morning, y'all. The sun was shining oh so brightly. I thought about how good this life is. Back in the day, it wasn't always like this. I think about the things we done been through. I think about the place that I come from. It wasn't always easy, so every day I'm thanking God for the beautiful people everywhere I go. I just need to see your smiling faces at my show. And when you're feeling real love from the family, every day is a gift, y'all, that's all I need.
What a beautiful life.